You are not crazy. You are not crazy for remembering what the rest of the world has forgotten. You are not crazy for feeling in the way that you feel, to the heights and depths that you feel. You are not crazy for dreaming of a better world. You are not crazy for looking out at this current global landscape and seeing insanity. You are not crazy for feeling different. You are not crazy for knowing things that your mind can't comprehend. You are not crazy for seeing and hearing and sensing a world that your sensory perceptions cannot see or hear or sense. You are not crazy for feeling that this world is completely drowning in the nonsensical and has made you out to be the nonsensical being. You are not crazy for remembering for what the rest of the world has forgotten. You are not crazy. The fact that we live in the world that we do right now should be evidence of insanity, and yet somehow wars rage on, famine, poverty, death and destruction, needless death and destruction, and separation and division continues to poison this reality. And the collective human heart has been so desensitized that it's deemed normal, that somehow we have normalized this insanity. You are not crazy for seeing the insanity in this world. You are not crazy for having a heart that feels so fully and that rages at the state of this world because you know a better world is possible. You are not crazy for not wanting to be a part of this world that seems so lost, so drenched in its own dissonance, in its own disparity, in its own deviance and distortion. You are not crazy for dreaming of a very different way of being and not knowing how you will make it happen for yourself or for this world. We are waking up from a nightmare. We are waking up from a nightmare. And that process between being deeply, deeply asleep and awake and aware is an uncomfortable process. And the world is writhing as it awakens. The world is writhing in agony and despair because it has become so accustomed to the insane. It has become so accustomed to the nightmare that some semblance of sanity, which is love, which is unity, which is every beating heart beating for one cause, that's deemed insane. It's a bit like Stockholm syndrome. this world has come to love its perpetrators. Not just the factions of insane people that run this world physically, who are completely disconnected to their sentience, which is why they can normalize and promote and propagate this insanity. But also, most have become so completely used to calling their egoic, fear-based nature their master. And most are not willing to make the treacherous, in these conditions, journey back to the heart, because it requires tremendous courage, it requires tremendous honesty, it requires change, it requires awakening to all of who we are, the light and the dark. And that's a fucking uncomfortable process. And people would rather stay asleep in the nightmare, in the matrix reality of fallacy and distortion and disruption. They would rather stay asleep to their own dreams, to their own hearts, to their own potential, and to the potential for this world, than awaken. A few weeks ago, I had a very profound mushroom psilocybin journey. And it's very rare for me to go on deep journeys like this. But I sensed that I needed a support to be held by a wisdom greater than what I could access at the time. And this journey, which I intended to go with to understand why I was having prolonged symptoms of my concussion, this journey took me back to the source, took me back to the true nature of reality. I won't go into the details of the journey here, but I will share the core message that reverberated so deeply through my being. So deeply through my being. And that was that we are all swimming in an ocean of vibration. And that shared vibration, the truest nature of that vibration is love. That is the singularity, the ocean that joins us all. And those of us with very deeply feeling hearts, those of us that are highly empathic, highly sensitive, that came into this world with awakened senses, with a hunger for truth, with hearts that beat for unity, that we are not crazy for feeling this vibratory nature of reality, for not just feeling emotions and feelings. That's not what I'm talking about here. Yes, we feel deeply in that sense, but what I'm saying here is beyond even our own known perceptual abilities. This is the feeling of a vibrational nature of reality that can't be pinpointed, that most people would never even consider a reality, that they would dismiss as insanity. Ironically, the insane dismissing that which is true as insane. But those of us that feel life, feel the aliveness of this world, we feel it vibrationally. We know it. We see it, we feel it. But we can't pinpoint it. And in a world that's been so asleep, that's been so entrenched in a nightmare of fallacy and delusion and illusion, we look insane. We feel insane. We've been called insane. Demonic, dark, weird, crazy, black sheep, blah, blah. It doesn't matter what label people project onto that which they don't understand. And this journey showed me that we are not crazy for remembering the vibrational nature of this reality. That it is a deep honor to feel the world so deeply. That is our gift to this world, that we feel so deeply. Because in a world that has been disconnected to its sentience, to its heart, to the connection to the source, those that feel are the bridge back. We are the bridge back to a sentient sanity, to the disillusion of separation. It is our embodied remembrance that is the bridge back. I was shown a beautiful, great big cosmic whale that birthed all things in an ocean of love. And that loving ocean is vibratory. And whether you see it or sense it consciously or not, it connects all beings in an ocean, in a singularity, in a shared network. And the reason why as sensitive beings we struggle so much in this reality is because we know the interconnectedness, we feel it, we sense it. It's alive in us, that knowing. And then we see the atrocities being carried out by those that have forgotten. And it's so painful because when they hurt all of us, when they hurt the earth, when they hurt nature, when they hurt themselves, they're hurting us too. Because we are all as one. It's one ocean, one love, one heart, one singularity from which we are all birthed and expressed. And I felt the innately feminine quality of this creator. I felt how we are all perpetuating wounding from the separation from the mother. Our earth mothers, our earthly terror mother, and our cosmic mother. That this very, very insane world has deliberately severed us from the source, from the feminine source of life, from the deep spiritual nourishment of the mother, from the physical nourishment, from the vibratory nourishment of being deeply connected, deeply relational, deeply heart-led. That is the feminine face of God. And I was shown how nature naturally emanates remembrance as vibration. And I was shown whales. And I heard the whales calling and singing. And I was told that they don't necessarily sing for a purpose all the time. You know, our human minds, we want to understand from this compartmentalized view of the world, why do animals do these things? And I was shown that the whales sing to emanate remembrance. They sing as a natural expression of their remembrance, and they sing to help us remember. They're very high vibrational beings. They're here to help us heal. And I saw the pain of the natural world, of these beautiful animals, of the natural living environment, of the earth herself crying, not as victims, crying because they see the pain that we inflict on ourselves and others and on this planet when we have forgotten what they innately remember. What this earth innately remembers, what she longs for. She is the mother, we are her children. And she cries as a mother would cry when her children have gone awry, when her children have run astray, when they are not living their potential and they are far from that potential. She cries and she grieves for our very, very lost souls, for our guarded hearts that stop us letting life in, that stop us letting love in, that stop us returning home. And as I film this, the Middle East is raging with that which cannot be put into words. You could call it war, conflict, atrocity. And of course, it's not the only place on earth, although the media has shone a spotlight there. It's not the only place on earth that has been deeply, deeply poisoned by the sickness of separation. It is in everyday life. It is all around us. And those of us that are deeply sentient, deeply feeling, deeply connected to the knowingness of who we are and what is really true, it is fucking hard to be on this earth right now and to maintain a hopeful, open heart. And that is what I am asking and encouraging you and urging you to do. It doesn't make sense to those that have forgotten. But as someone that remembers, I want to remind you that your open, deeply sentient and feeling heart is the medicine for this insane, sick world. So please, please keep it open. Please. Please hold on to the remembrance that is so deeply ingrained within you. Please do not fall into the illusion of separation. Please continue to fiercely love, even when it feels like all hope and all semblance of love in your life has been lost. Know that it comes from within you. Know that you are the source of it, and that you are an innate and intrinsic part of this ocean of remembrance that is becoming conscious of itself. And you remembering and emanating that force, the power of that cannot be underestimated. And again, those that have forgotten will indeed underestimate the power of your feeling heart, the power of your remembrance. Pay them no mind. Pay them no mind, my friends, please. Stay on your path. Follow your highest guidance with your focus and orientation to God, to love, to truth, unwaveringly, unapologetically. There will be many distractions now as the sickness of separation becomes too intolerable, too much to bear for this very, very insane world. There will be many distractions. There will be destruction. There will be devastation. And the greatest gift that we can give to this very, very, very sick humanity that is currently waking up from a nightmare is to keep our holy hearts open, in spite of the form presentation. Because we then become the bridges to a better world in the physical that already exists beyond the form, and we know it and we feel it, and so we must become it. Become what the world needs. And do not let anyone around you that has forgotten infect you with their forgetfulness. Pay them no mind. Keep your loyalty here, to the heart, to love, to God. Know that you are never alone. Even though sometimes it feels really lonely. I know. But you are never alone. The force of love itself is with you and in you always guiding you home. Your only job is to continue to ask yourself in each moment, what is true in my heart? What is real in my heart? What is my heart whispering to me? What is my heart asking of me? Can I have the courage to follow it, even if it doesn't make sense to the part that has forgotten in me or to those that have forgotten around me? This is the time, my friends. This is the time we came to Earth for. We came to Earth to be pillars. Pillars of light. Pillars of love. In a world that is drowning in its despair. Because it is deeply forgotten what we remember. This is the mission. It is embodying the knowing. I'm sending you so much love for your onwards journey.